All right, now let's look at the other types of renderings that you can do. I can do a top view, which basically shows the plan, except it's in perspective. So I can render that. I can also render an aerial, which tilts it at an angle and takes away one of the walls. Okay, and you can tilt it however you want. And notice that the wall that is closest to you is the one that always disappears. So you can view it that way as well. And you can do a rendering of that. You can also do panorama. Okay, the panorama, and I have to move my little person to the middle of the room to do a panorama. All right, so I'm going to hit render. And with the panorama, it doesn't really matter which direction you're facing because it's going to do a 360-degree view, which is why you put your little person in the middle of the room. Now, the panoramas take a little bit longer to render, and it says 10 minutes. It won't take near that long, but I'm going to pause the video while it's rendering the panorama. Okay, the rendering finished, and it did actually take about 7 minutes to do this. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit too dark. So I'm going to hit View Detail, and it's going to load the panorama in a new window. And with the panorama, you get to move around. Well, you don't really move around. You can spin around within the room. Okay, so that's how you do a panorama. Now, once you have rendered at least one panorama, you can create a 720 virtual tour. And this actually works better if you have a panorama from more than one location created. If you have more than one panorama, like if I had done one from my hallway as well, I could have had two different locations to move in between in my virtual tour. So since I only have one spot, I don't really have to do anything. If I had multiple panoramas, they would be listed over here, and I would check all of them. And that way I could move from space to, place to place within the space. So I'm just going to hit generate since I only have the one. And then I'm going to view it. And this isn't really going to be much different than looking at the panorama because I only had one panorama rendered. If I had multiple ones, I would see little dots, and then I could move from point to point within the room. But with the 720 virtual tour, there's a couple of things that you can do. One, you can turn on background music. There it goes. You can also turn auto rotate on and off. Actually, that's annoying. You can also view the floor plan so that you can see where you are in the space. And again, if you had multiple locations from which you had generated panoramas, you would have multiple dots. You can also view rooms. So if you had multiple rooms with panoramas in each one, you could move from room to room this way. You can also hit share, and this is kind of cool. If you have a QR code reader on your phone, you can shoot this QR code on your phone and it will bring the panorama up, or the 720 virtual tour up, on your phone. And you can even, if you have VR glasses, you can actually view the room in virtual reality with the VR goggles. And that is how you do a panorama and a virtual tour.